this is Katie Colleen here. Welcome back, Colleen Clan. If you're new, then come join the family for episode 4 of my HerUniverse Fashion Show build. So in the previous videos, I got accepted to the HerUniverse Fashion Show with my design inspired by Carmen Sandiego from the Carmen Sandiego Netflix series. And then I made the bodysuit and I made the coat. So in today's video, I will be making all of the accessories. So I'll be making the hat and all of the belts, but I can finally see the finish line of this project and there's only 2 weekends left before I need to do the photo shoot and submit all of the photos and video for the fashion show. I have a hat pattern. I'm using the hat pattern from Cosplay.com. She had a cowboy hat pattern, which I'm altering. I have some 5mm EVA foam. This is the Yaya Hans EVA foam. So I will be cutting this out. Here is our Carmen Sandiego hat. Doesn't look like much now, but we're ready to glue some of these pieces together and get it looking more hat-like. We've reached a snag in our plan, and that is that I cannot open this bottle of contact cement. Anytime I need to open any bottle, let it be pickles, contact cement, water bottles, I always have my husband open it for me. My hand joints are not the best. Like, I literally cannot open this can of contact cement. My hand joints just will not do it. But the thing is, my husband has already left for work, and like, I'm at the point where I'm kind of like ready to just smash this with a hammer and just like pull the contact cement out of the remains. Just like, get it out, I can't open the lid. So I did get the hat cut out and I did get it glued together. I have this like tub of contact cement and you're able to, it's kind of like a paint tub. You're able to put the screwdriver under it and just kind of pull the top off. And then I have this little bottle which has a much more friendly twist off. And I was able to twist this off and use this applicator with this tub. The hat is now drying in the garage, so tomorrow I can kind of sand and shape the hat a little, and then we can start cutting out the cover and the pleather. I have pleather somewhere around here. It's 6 in the morning on Thursday, May 13th. I want to make some changes to this hat. I feel like this part of the hat, like this dimension right here, is too tall. Now, I used a cowboy hat pattern and I feel like, you know, the cowboy hat really happened. It's also a little small for my head. Like, I can't really get it to fit on top of my head very well. So, we are going to make some modifications. What I would like to try is cutting this down to like here, and it looks like there's a little bit of space for this to kind of fan out and make the head hole bigger, especially because I will be wearing a wig and a wig cap, so I would like it to fit a little better. I felt like it was a good idea, but it's not gonna work. I cut down the top piece and it still is a little too small, which I figured could happen. I think the brim is probably still salvageable. I'm going to cut out these pieces again, but shorter and much wider. And then I can sew all these pieces. So I'm not sewing. And then I can glue these pieces back together. It is 6 in the morning on Friday, May 14th. This is how our hat looks. Do I think it could be better? Yes. Do I think this works? Also yes. So I'm gonna move forward with this hat. I'm going to size the brim of the hat. I'm still not sure if this is too big or not. These are all scraps. So this was the bottom of the coat that I cut off, and because I save all my scraps, I can cut out most of the hat just in these scrap pieces. I definitely take like keeping scraps to a little bit of an extreme sometimes, but at least it's paying off. And I'll only need to get into the main piece for the brim because those are a bit bigger. But hey, hold on to your fabric scraps. It's 6:20 in the morning on Saturday, May 15th, and I'm actually going to work today. I'm just gonna have like, you know, maybe like 30 minutes or so, kind of sew together some of these hat pieces. I have everything cut out. Pretty busy. I'm a little stressed losing some of my design work time to my job, but there are a lot of things at my job that I really just want to like take care of today, which is why I want to put in so the extra hours on Saturday. So I'm gonna get those things taken care of. We're gonna sew some hat pieces together and hopefully it all looks good. I don't know how, but I ended up making this piece like a lot shorter than this one. So I was hoping like, oh, maybe if I just make this the inside lining, it'll work out really nice. But even with it being on the inside, like it is quite a bit too short. So I think I'm actually gonna have to recut out this piece and make it a little bit wider. Hello. I now have the hat sewn together. It looks a little better with the foam though. There's the inside lining. And this guy will just pop right on top. It's not bad. Just gotta sew the layers together. Before I sew this and seal it together forever though, I do want to make the belt for the hat. If I make the belt for the hat now, I can machine sew it onto this outer layer and I can avoid hand sewing, which I always avoid hand sewing, but after spending 5 hours hand sewing that coat, I am like doing everything I can to not hand sew. We are making good progress though. The hat is basically done. It's definitely one of the weaker parts of the design. I've never made a hat before, but it will do. It will do. The hat is done. Like I said, it's probably one of the weakest parts of the costume. There is like a little tuck right here because the layers weren't quite lining up. Honestly, it doesn't bother me too much. It's Sunday, May 16th at 7:30 in the morning. I think we've definitely like reached the part of the build where this just isn't necessarily fun anymore, but we're almost to the end. So for today, I'd like to make the belt, so that shouldn't take too terribly long. A belt for the sleeve, a belt for the waist. I'll put on the buttons. And I've been thinking I want to try and fix the hat. It still does have this tuck. You get to a point where everything looks so good that you definitely want to be a perfectionist on this as well. So another 40 minutes of hand sewing later, and I have the hat fixed. So now it actually looks flat. I don't really want to get too much into making the waist belt until we've been able to get the metal pieces, or at least start on the metal pieces. Okay guys, we got the goods. We traveled to many stores, but we got the goods for the metalwork. Got some brass sheets, very shiny. And we got a saw. A jeweler's saw. Heavy duty. Hello guys. We got back from shopping and I took a nap. But my husband has been hard at work. My husband has been working away on the fashion show build. So here is our brass piece. It's very thin brass, so he was actually able to cut it with scissors. The jeweler's saw was kind of overkill. And here is wood. So this is a wood piece, and we're wrapping. Oh, awesome. He has an example for me. Thank you, husband. So he sawed this out, then cut out this little piece, and then it just folds over. This one had a little whoopsie, but we have 3 sheets, so he's giving it another try. Welcome to design work day number 2. So this is a day that I'm taking vacation time off of my job so that I can work on my design. So what are we doing today then? It's gonna be a pretty busy day. So first of all, I want to finish the waist belt. So after looking at it, I realized why triangle belt buckles don't exist. And that's because they make really lousy belt buckles. And I was just kind of thinking about having to thread a belt through a triangle, you know, kind of like this, and around and back. And it doesn't really work that well. Instead, I'm going to do a button on the side. So this piece will be only decorative, and that'll just be on the front, and then it will button on the back. Now there is a few other goals for today. I would like to try on the whole outfit and roll around in my wheelchair for a little bit and just make sure that nothing is catching in the wheels, that I'm still able to push the wheelchair with no problems. So we're gonna do a bit of a like dress rehearsal once I finish this last belt, because that will be the full outfit. But enough of that, I will be making our belt. The outfit is done. I'm super proud of it. It's actually really comfortable, surprisingly. So the next episode will all be about the wheelchair decorations and going to the photo shoot and stuff like that. But right now I'm pretty happy with this. So enjoy some runway practice footage of me without makeup or wig, but still wearing the full design.